Now, when a company like Sirui comes out with LED lights and starts to become quite creative, it really sparks my interest. And I think this little clip is a great idea of what's to come in this video.
Well, I don't know what is my plan.
And giving that kind of rim light. And then what we're going to do for the shot,
The Sirui Dragons.
Ariana Grande perfume that she wants to do. And me, I went and...
Welcome back to the channel. Now for this video, we are going to be doing something a little bit different, and Michelle and I are going to do a head-to-head battle. One of us doing photo and one of us doing video, using the Sirui Dragons in the studio to see if we can create something pretty cool. And I think that would answer the question is, are these new bendable lights really something awesome, or is this kind of just a gimmick? Spoiler alert, these are actually pretty awesome. But first, let me give you a rundown on what these lights are all about and what they actually do. Now, Sirui has launched two of these. I'll put the codes over here so that you can see. One, which is this one, is powered via NPF battery. And a newer version is powered via a built-in battery. Now, I do have a bit of a love-hate relationship when it comes to built-in batteries. On one hand, it is pretty cool that you don't have to carry extra batteries around, and that is probably when you're out and about and running around. However, when you are busy in a studio and your lights are fixed and you have all your gear nearby, it is quite painful when powered lights that have built-in batteries die, because then you need to get the wall socket or a USB-C charge or something for them. However, when it's NPFs, you could literally just go and swap the NPF battery out and just continue powering the light. And that is what I like about these, because Sirui has obviously got your NPF battery power, and it does come with a DC wall socket power. So you can actually just power this via the wall if you really wanted to use a cable for a long period of time, or you could use an NPF battery. Now, if you are going to be asking the question, if you do plug in the wall socket, will it charge the NPF battery? That's a no. It only does one or the other. It either runs on NPF or runs on wall power. Now, so you'll see the top end and the bottom end does look a little bit different, and that is because these lights can actually join each other. So you are able to create a little arch like this, put it around a product and get very even lighting. Now, unfortunately, something that would have really been pretty cool is if the connection of these two lights would power each other via one wall socket. I do understand that connecting multiple up the NPF battery wouldn't be able to obviously power 2 or 3 lights, but it would be pretty cool if joining them and then connecting wall power did power both lights. Now, you do have the usual CCT mode, which ranges from 2700 to 8500 Kelvin, with the addition of green and magenta shift, which you don't always see in affordable lights. It's usually at much more expensive lights, and pro lights kind of have this green and magenta shift. To give you an idea on the power of these lights, what that looks like in a studio setting, here where I'm sitting, I'm going to take the light and put it on 5600 Kelvin. Now, I do have the Sirui blow-up light over here. Now, these lights are really, really powerful. Even at minimum brightness, they're just way too strong, so it's got a sheet over it. So to give you an idea, this is 5% brightness on the Dragon light, which you kind of see is about the same as the current light that's there. And if I push that all the way up to 100%, you can see how bright it actually is. Now, if you are wondering if this kind of bendable feature is a gimmick or not, you can see how a straight light doing this would create this kind of look. Maybe it's a bit bright. And if I had to hold it sideways and bend it, you could see how much softer that wraparound actually looks. Pretty big difference. Also, there is an on-off switch over here, and one allows you to switch to battery, one allows you to switch to off, and the other switches to wall power. So you can choose which powering option you need. Now, there is a pretty cool attachment that you can get from Sirui to join these two lights together in an array, if you want to call it that. You can just imagine how bright that would be if you stacked up multiple of these They are pretty handy. And then you do have RGB mode. Now, one thing that I can say about these that are very impressive is when they are in RGB mode, which is great for a light like this, they are actually very, very powerful. Now, blue is one of the weaker colors generally. That is 100% end blue in this setting. So you can see how bright that actually is. Something like pink, you can see how bright that is. And that's red. Extremely bright, pretty hard to look at. Finally, you do have 16 different lighting effects, which is kind of your standard police car, fire, candlelight, lightning, all the different effects that you would get from a normal light that has RGB. But then there's something in this light that I have not seen yet on any light that I have worked with. This light has 10 user programmable presets. So if you are in a space like this and you have your normal office setup and you put one of them here, another one there, you could program these lights as kind of keeping them in memory so that even though you're using them on different jobs, you kind of save them to that specific use so that you don't always have to guess what your power was in a specific set. That's actually something that I wish more manufacturers would add to lights, especially for instance when I'm sitting here and I do have a key light and I usually have the camera fixed to one of the program modes over here. I could set my key light to memory 1 and I would always get the same Kelvin and power output. So the fact that Sirui is offering this on this light, I wish they'd do it to all their lights. And then for the mobile app lovers, yes, there is that too. As you probably know, I'm not a major mobile app lover. I like to kind of get my hands on with lights. Unless lights are very far out of reach, then it definitely makes sense to have a mobile app. Now the light does come with 3 mounting points, one at the bottom, one on the back, and one on this side, all which are quarter screws. So you can obviously join multiple of these lights and then, screw them in wherever you need, bend them, wrap them around a subject, whatever you need. You could even bend them the other way, creating a lot of light hitting a white ceiling, giving you a kind of lantern kind of effect. Okay, so enough of this. Let's get straight to the real world challenge, which is going to show you a lot more of these lights in actual use. And I think that's where they really excel. All right, so this is the impromptu side of the video. Michelle is going to be doing something with this, which is actually a Ariana Grande perfume that she wants to do. And me, I went and had to go on a hunt in my cupboard amongst all the pairs for...
Oh, sorry, it was so difficult.
It was so difficult. I went through some beautiful pairs that I found that I forgot I had of the Jordan 4 Lightning. Okay, Michelle, so you are going to be giving your idea first. What is your plan for the shoot?
Okay, so I am obviously going to use cotton wool and my perfume. I'm going to create like clouds with my cotton wool and put the perfume like it's basically in the clouds. And then I'm going to use the Sirui Dragon lights, probably to create some color in the photo as well as to light the product. I'll just see how many I need and then I'll take a photo.
And hopefully it's better than mine.
And it will be better than yours.
To keep it different, so Michelle's going to be doing photo because she does photography. It's a bit unfair to ask her to do video considering she doesn't do video as much as I do. So she's going to do a photo and I'm going to do a video, but to make it interesting, I'm only allowed to do like a one-shot video. So I can't add a whole bunch of like music and rises and whooshes and transitions. Otherwise, obviously a video would be more catchy than a photo, right? So it's just like a one take, one shot. Probably going to do like a dolly in, and obviously I'm using the Jordan 4 Lightnings because I'm going to be using also the cotton wool as clouds, right? Copying you, obviously, just so I can get a chance to beat you. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to light the shoes up with the Sirui Dragons, obviously, but what I am going to do is I'm going to try and find a way to hang the cotton wool and put the Sirui Dragon above it, because the Sirui Dragon has the functions, the different effects, and I'm going to put it on lightning so it kind of pulses, and then I can do that dolly in product like super cool lit, and then that's one thing that I can do is put a lightning, like a thunder sound effect in it. So that will be hopefully my go to beat Michelle. So we're gonna let Michelle go first and do her setup. Yeah, let's do this. So Michelle has got a Sirui Dragon over here on one of these mini tripods. So you do have a quarter screw there at the bottom. You also have another quarter screw there and over there too. So this Sirui Dragon is running off mains. And obviously if you switch it the other way, it'll try and run off NPF. So just to keep the table a little bit cleaner and not have wires running everywhere, we're gonna run these off NPFs. Okay, so what are you doing?
I'm fixing my clouds.
This is the 18 to 35 that we've got on here. It's not the sharpest, so it's not perfectly ideal, but the way we're going to set the aperture, and that's going to be fine. So she's just positioned it now. Lighting is not set up, we've just literally got the one Sirui there, the blue in the background, which is going to move anyway to kind of give you a different effect. As you can see right now, the lighting is really just kind of average. So Michelle's actually now tinkering with the idea of suspending some clouds in the shot, and you'll kind of just move them quickly, move them out and then bring them in. And obviously if they're nice and close, they get kind of blurred out with the bokeh, and if you put them too far away, in other words closer by the perfume, they're too in focus. Alright, so now what we're going to do is, there's obviously that yellow light that we just put up just in the beginning, has a pretty cool look kicking into that yellow, like the sun's kind of setting or there's some sun in the clouds. But now what we need to do is turn off this light, and we need to turn off that backlight. That was just so that you guys could see us, and now we're going to be able to shape the light. Alright, so now what I've got is I've got that other camera videoing, and I'll put it over here so you can kind of see what Michelle's doing. You can see exactly the light, kind of like a little two-part situation. What are you thinking? What's wrong?
No, there was a funny shadow there that I just don't know. Like you could see the light touch the bottle weird, and then it had like this orangey funny color.
Got you. Try and bend that light over more from the top.
I just want to see first because it kind of looks nice split, but it also looks nice more from the front.
Yeah. Yeah, you kind of get that look over the clouds. Looks a bit bright now. What are you on?
33%. Still looks a bit bright.
Go right down, 20. Okay, so Michelle has some depth in the clouds using some mini tripods. Kind of playing with the last little bit over here, but she's moved this light, bent it over just a bit on the Sirui Dragon. Evenly light the product as much as we can. Unfortunately, dealing with glass is extremely hard, as you know, and we don't have all day. You know, unfortunately, Ariana Grande is not paying Michelle to do this. So we don't have the whole day, do we, Michelle? That's very pretty. Must I hit the button for you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
No, I'm just saying so.
Okay, here we go. All right, so for mine, Jordan for Lightning, the goal here is to have the clouds at the top. I need something obviously to shoot through the clouds. So that is kind of the plan, is to have this hanging and put one of the Sirui Dragons in lightning mode through here, and then obviously stick the clouds onto this thing. Michelle's actually quite good at this, so she did all of this for me. She's cheating, helping me. She's cheating. Alright, are you ready? Moment of truth. I think it works.
No, obviously, because I did it.
You know, that it kind of hangs, if I can say that.
At the right place.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm taking the light away that Michelle had on the back. I'm going to plug it in here, hang it over this magical cloud setup that is actually falling apart. I'm going to go through the effects here, and they have a lightning one. There it is there. So that's kind of the goal that we're going for. Looks like trash. But I think once it's done, it's gonna look quite nice. Okay, so let me fix that and then I'll set up the other 2 lights on the shoe. Okay, so lighting setup is the one Sirui Dragon over here giving that lightning kind of effect. And then there's another one over here giving it a lightning effect from this side of the shoe. We're gonna then take this Sirui Dragon and we're gonna actually switch it off. We're gonna film it's gonna black out between the lightning strobes because all these lights are gonna be off and it's just those 2 Sirui Dragons. And then Michelle's just gonna basically hit the button and that one switches on and that's kind of your hero shot. So it's like lightning blacks out next minute. There's your hero shot with a bit of the clouds on the top. Now we have changed the lens to the 56mm so I can get more telephoto because we can't create a massive thing of clouds above it. So it's just trying to be selective for that one specific shot. And that's how we've positioned the shoe and the clouds. So you can still see the Jordan logo over there. And it is going to be handheld. It would be nice to put this on a slider and just set it to kind of just go and rack focus. Perfect, but that is kind of cheating. So we're going to quickly do that shot.
All right, so here are the final shots. This is Michelle's shot. Now I think they're pretty good. I'm not gonna lie. She is pretty good.
And here's his final shot.
Okay, to be fair, I'm gonna hand this one to Michelle. I personally think her shot was better than mine. I think what I had in my head didn't really come out on video as I wanted it to. There was a lot of complications with my clouds. So it made it pretty tough.
I think it's pretty cool that you can use them for photo and video, and it's a definite to keep in your kit.
In your kit. Now these lights are $149 each. There is a combo package if you do take 2. Now we do have 3 and obviously you can couple them up like you saw, but if you do buy a kit, personally I'd probably get 2 kits if I could recommend someone to buy something. But otherwise they built pretty robust, they're pretty tough. You can't really, if you do force it, you can't really break it. It feels pretty solid. Very cool to have. Let us know in the comments what you think, whose photo you thought was better. I'm handing this to Michelle. I think
whatever.
I'm just sucking up. But yeah, that's it from us. Wherever you are in the world, have a good day, good evening, good night.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.